Modes of nutrition. Modes of nutrition means method of obtaining food by an organism. On the basis of that, there are two modes of nutrition: autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition is already discussed. In this lecture, we learn about heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Here, the word heteros means others and troph means nutrition. So these heterotrophs are those organisms who depend on others for their food. On the basis of that, we can say heterotrophic nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot make its own food from simple inorganic material like carbon dioxide and water and depend on other organisms for its food. For example, all animals comes under shows the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Another example is most bacteria. Most bacteria, why it is most bacteria? Because some bacteria show the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So most bacteria show the heterotrophic modes of nutrition. Next example, fungi. All the fungi shows the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Next example, insectivores plant. Insectivores plant are both autotrophs and heterotrophs as they can photosynthesize, but in the soil in which they grow is nitrogen deficient, so they have to capture insect for obtaining nitrogen. Types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. There are three types of heterotrophic nutrition. First, saprotrophic nutrition, parasitic nutrition and holozoic nutrition. Saprotrophic nutrition is also called saprophytic nutrition. So, saprotrophic nutrition is that nutrition in which an organism obtains its food from decaying organic matter. Word sapro means rotten. So we can say that saprophytes are the organisms which obtain their food from dead plants, dead decaying animal bodies and other decaying organic matter. For example, you can see molds are growing over bread and this mushrooms is growing over dead decaying organic matter. So these are the saprophytic mode of nutrition. Next, parasitic nutrition. It is that mode of nutrition in which an organism derives its food from the body of another living organism. It is also called host without killing it. So, the organism which obtains the food is called a parasite and the organism from whose body food is obtained is called the host. What happens here? Here the host is preparing the food and parasite is keep feeding on them but gives no benefit to the host in return. Examples are cuscuta, roundworms, ticks, plasmodium. Cuscuta is a non-green leafless thread-like plant that begins to grow and attach themselves to nearby host plant. Once they are attached to the host plant, the cuscuta roots become weaker and disappear. Roundworms live inside the body of man and his domestic animals and cause diseases. And ticks attach to the body of organism and begins to draw blood, and microorganisms like plasmodium cause malaria. Holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition means feeding on solid food. So we can say an holozoic mode of nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which an organism take in whole food and break it down internally in their bodies for absorbing nutrients. Examples: amoeba, animals, and human beings. So the basic three difference between among this heterotrophic mode of nutrition are: in saprotrophic nutrition, the food material is already in a simple form and it is taken by organism, right? In parasitic nutrition, the host is keep forming the food and guest is keep feeding on it, means the guest is adjacent to the host, right? In holozoic nutrition, animal take in whole material and break it down inside their body. So these are the basic difference. So depending upon the food habits, holozoic organisms are divided into three categories. We'll learn it one by one. So, nutrition in animals. As we said, depending on the food habit, holozoic organisms are divided into three categories. They are herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. So, herbivores are those organisms which eat only plants. For example, cattle like cow, goat, buffalo, and here you can see squirrel who is depending on the plant product. So these herbivores are depend on plant and their products. Carnivores are those animals which eats other animals as food. For example, here you can see this frog is feeding on insect, and this eagle is catching fish, and this cat is trying to catch this mouse since eternity. Next, omnivores. Omnivores are those animals which eats both plant and animals. So examples are human beings, crow, pig, bear, etc. Now we learn how all living things depend on sun for their food. Here you can see the plant is taking the sun energy and convert into the chemical energy by the process called photosynthesis. Here plant is considered as producer. Why? Because they produce food. And all other organisms including us, all other animals including us are called as consumers. Why? Because we depend on these producers, right? So as we can say that the consumers are directly or indirectly depend on producers. Here we can see goat. Goat is an herbivore that eat only plant, are the direct consumer of plants, or we can say the goat is directly depend on plant, right? And if you talk about lion is feeding on this goat, but this lion is also indirectly depend on this producer or plant. Why? Because this plant is feeded by this goat. Likewise, the omnivore eats both plants and animals. So they either depend on plant directly or maybe depend on plant indirectly. We know that the process of obtaining food and then using it for obtaining energy, growth and repair of the body is called nutrition. So we'll discuss now the nutrition in animals in detail, or the process of nutrition in animals in details. So there is a first step called ingestion. In this process called ingestion, it is a process of taking food into the body is called ingestion, right? So next step is, after ingestion the food is need to be in a simple form. So in digestion, the process in which the food containing large insoluble molecule is broken down into small and water soluble molecules so that it can be easily absorbed by the body. After digestion, the food molecule becomes small and soluble. The soluble food molecule can pass through the wall of our intestine and go into the blood. Or we can say that the process in which the digested food passes through the intestinal wall into bloodstream is called absorption. So after absorption, blood carries the absorbed food to all parts of the body, and the food then enters each and every cell of the body where it need to be used. So what is assimilation? Assimilation is a process in which the absorbed food is taken in by body cells and used for energy, growth and repair. Right? So assimilation is followed by egestion. Egestion is the process in which the undigested food is removed from the body. So these are the general steps of nutrition. Is occur almost in all holozoic organism. It may be a unicellular organism like amoeba or a multicellular organism like human being. So in next slide we'll learn the nutrition in unicellular organism like amoeba. Nutrition in amoeba. We know that amoeba is a unicellular organism and show holozoic mode of nutrition. The process of obtaining food by amoeba is called phagocytosis. Phagocytosis meaning cell feeding. And the various steps involved in the nutrition in amoeba are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. We know that amoeba has no mouth or a fixed place for ingestion for food. So what it do? Amoeba produces the false feet called pseudopodia. Here pseudo means false and podia means feet. When the food particles come near the amoeba, then amoeba ingests this food particle by forming the temporary finger-like projection called pseudopodia around it. The food is engulfed with a little surrounding water to form a food vacuole inside the amoeba. So this is a process called ingestion. This temporary food vacuole is called as a temporary stomach of amoeba. In digestion, the enzyme surrounding the cytoplasm enter into the food vacuole and break it down into the smaller molecule which is soluble by chemical reaction. The digestion in amoeba takes place inside the food vacuole, due to which the food dissolve and become soluble. Now the digested food present in the food vacuole of amoeba is absorbed directly into the cytoplasm of amoeba by the process called diffusion. As we know, amoeba consists of only single cell. It doesn't require any blood stream to carry the digested food throughout the body. So the digested food just spread out from the food vacuole into the whole amoeba cell. After the absorption, the food vacuole got disappear. Absorption is followed by assimilation. In this process, a part of food absorbed in the amoeba cell is used to obtain the energy through respiration, and the remaining part of the absorbed food is used for the growth of amoeba. Thus, after assimilating the food, amoeba grow in size and amoeba can reproduce by dividing into the two daughter cells. And now the last step is egestion. Egestion is a process in which the undigested food material is removed out of the body.